If you're charged with criminally negligent homicide in Texas, you got to be careful because it is kind of, I'm going to use a term you may have heard, it's kind of a slippery slope. You can be charged for that crime for basically negligent behavior. And so an example might be you're speeding and you're on your cell phone texting and you get in a wreck. You could conceivably be charged with criminally negligent homicide. And when you think of it, it is where you are undertaking some action that a reasonably prudent person ought to have known that there was an unreasonable risk of harm or death. And so it's one of those offenses that is kind of discretionary for the prosecutor. You know, there are some offenses that are cut and dried on a theft. Did you take the item with intent to steal and walk out of the store? Did you possess the drug, yes or no? You know, some are much more clear-cut. But criminally negligent homicide, you get into the mindset, you get into what's a reasonable person, and should they have known? You know, I think, today a lot of people talk on their cell phones, and I think that people would say that doesn't have that high degree of risk that would warrant a charge. However, some prosecutor may disagree with that and say, you're on your cell phone, talking, driving down the highway, that's criminally negligent homicide if you get in a wreck and kill somebody. So you can see where there's no cut standards that are clearly out of bounds or in bounds. There are some that are clearly out of bounds. If you're driving, 120 miles an hour and it's at night and you shut your lights off to evade the police, well, that's pretty clearly criminally negligent homicide. However, if you are going 20 miles over the speed limit on your phone, is that? I would argue no, but somebody else may disagree. So you need to get a lawyer because the fact is that those offenses are not clear-cut, and very often you can convince a prosecutor that the person is overcharged.